How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews. Back to yet another review. A little bit of, hey there, Chicago beers on Massive Beer Reviews today. In the form of Hop Butcher for the World. It's their Disco Ball. Mirror Ball. I screwed it up. But I'm not going to redo the video. Let's just keep going with it. Anyway, yeah, Mirror Ball. You figured I'd get it right? Dudes are nice enough to send me beers and I fucking fuck it up. Anyway, yeah. Hop Butcher for the World. Relatively new brewery to me. I was sent some by Justin. Thank you very much, dude, for sending these out. Sending those out previously. Kind of introduced me to those guys. Actually did my top favorite beers of, you know, hoppy beers, malty beers, stuff like that. And their Craniac made that list of the hoppy beers. I really enjoyed it. I was lucky enough to actually, the brewers kind of reach out to me, sent me a little care package not too long ago, and just sent out another one. And that includes this beer. So thank you very much, guys. As far as what it says on here, it says Mirror Ball. It says Mosaic Centennial and Citra Hopped Double India Pale Ale. On the back here, it says tasting notes. It says dank tropical citrus and floral. That'd be that. I dig this one. It's kind of a sketchy drawn disco ball doing little disco things, and I love gold. I love gold cans. I love gold stuff. I hate gold jewelry, but I just dig it, man, because it's also got like a gold can, but there's also the pants are yellow. Now, this is where like you might be like you're kind of going crazy with the way you view shit. It's a different color than the gold. It's so subtle, but to actually go through the effort of actually doing that, I fucking dig it. So anyway, this is me being weird. So for those that don't know, because I haven't told you, how would you know? It's cold. It's like in almost double digits. Freezing here. It's the beginning of January here in northeastern Pennsylvania, hence the hat. I'm not trying to pull off a fashion statement here, although my beautiful future wife knitted it, so if you guys want to buy that, check Buckalo View on YouTube and everywhere on the internet. But so yeah, I know you guys are gonna love it. You're gonna make fun of me because I'm pulling off the whole fucking hipster trifecta thing, but it's fucking cold, man. I just got home from work. I don't want to fucking freeze my ass off, so suck it up. Anyway, not bit, you know, I poured it relatively gentle, big fat glass. You're not going to get a big head off at the begin with, but, you know, quarter of a pinky finger, just off white head, super tight compact bubbles, because there ain't much there to begin with. It's got a soft taste to it. Golden color with kind of that, like, I like to talk that little bit of cataract-y kind of white around the kind of brims and pieces of the bits and pieces. You know, it looks like it has a kind of slightly semi-opaque kind of thing going on in there. But nothing too crazy. So, does she look like a New England style, hazy, new school, all the adjectives fitting into one kind of IPA? Sure does. Let's see if we can get a nose on her. Well, first things first. The noggin, this little area right here, a little bit sniffly. So, I don't have the best nose in the world right now, but want some beer, so shit's gonna go down. But you're getting a nice kind of greeny, slightly danky hot presence off to begin with. There's like a rindy vibe to it. A rindy vibe in the form of like a melony kind of edge kind of rindy thing going on, combined with that greeniness. And there is a fruit portion of the shell, but it's almost like you get a pile of like skinned melons or defleshed melons, and you took the flesh away and you just have a little bit of the flesh hanging out and a little bit of that kind of skin. It's that kind of vibe with that little bit of danky greenness kind of sprinkled on top. There's something else going on there too. It might be just grapefruit. I'm just trying to overthink it a little bit maybe. So it's probably just a bit of grapefruit going on. What do they have going on here? Dank tropical, citrus, floral. So there you go. I mean, you know, floral can be a bit generic, but, you know, kind of on par with what they have written on the can. So we're just going to dive in, see what she's got. Cheers. Oh, way more bitter than I thought it was going to be based off of the nose. It has that super duper fucking soft water nerdy vibe thing going on. It's super soft, like super fucking super soft. Super soft with a big kind of ultra drying, almost like a hit wood kind of drying. But if you got no like flavor from wood, there's no tan in there, there's no kind of like oakiness or any of that stuff going on, no vanilla. It's just like a big dryness. It has to be coming from the bittering of that hops. There is that little bit of kind of almost like more like West Coasty kind of piney danky as opposed to smoking weed or pulling weedy danky. But it's just really dry. There's that fruit component kind of floating around that, but that dryness is so big that it kind of beats a bit of that back. But there is enough sweetness just to keep that shit in check. Because if it was like that sweetness was a little bit lower, it would just be over the top dry to a point where it'd be, I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but something you'd be like, okay, I don't want to drink a whole can of this. But it keeps it just in that realm of fantasticness to make it not, I don't know, dry as hell. How about those for words? Yeah, it's fun. It's interesting. I like it. I dig it. It doesn't blow me away as much as Craniac did, but that shit kind of just blew my titties off. So that's, you know, few and far between, but I dig it. I dig it. If you let it sit and you don't actually take a sip for a bit, that tropical thing they're talking about in there really does kind of come out. It's kind of, all that dryness kind of bleeds away. That bitterness kind of fades slightly. And you're left with a little bit of kind of nice kind of tropical sweetness. Kind of like somewhere between like a fruit juice and a kind of gummy, kind of bubblegummy kind of, not confectionery sweetness, but kind of candy kind of sweetness. It's not hard candy like glazed, like sugary candy. More like a little bit powdered, like powder-coated gum, powder-coated like jellies kind of candy. Super drinkable. I mean, even that dryness for how big as it is, it doesn't come off as 7.5, you know. It doesn't come off as small either, but at the same time, pretty drinkable stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. That's the MO of these guys. That's what my exposure is now 1, 2, 3, 4. This is now the 5th beer I've had from Hop Butcher. And they kind of, like, slide into, like, the breweries that typically kind of pluck at my heartstrings kind of breweries. Because they do interesting things. They're not resting on a kind of recipe that works and kind of tweaking it and fucking with it. I mean, that tends to be the norm nowadays, especially with these kind of bigger, kind of hoppier New England style IPAs, is that it's not so much that people are making a bunch of different beers. Everybody's making the same fucking car with subtle fucking differences. You know what I mean? It's not like they're making, you know, this you know, a brewery X comes out with a double IPA, and this hops, and the next one's this hops, and the next one's this hops, and that's fine. I dig that shit. But it tends to be the same exact thing. It's like, you know, it's like it's a Corvette with, and this one has a sunroof, but the next one doesn't have a sunroof. It has a spoiler, and the next one it's a 5-speed instead of a 6-speed. It's the same car, different options. With the stuff that I've had from Hop Butcher, it's this, you could tell it's the same model, you know, or same car maker, but they're all different models of vehicles. You know, you know, this is, you know, a quirky little, this is the fucking, what's that one fucking truck I fucking love that I wish I bought and I never bought? The Toyota FJ. Be like, that's what it is, our Toyota FJ. Where the other one is, you know what I mean, a completely different, it's a sports car version. The other one's just a big hauling truck. They all are different models. There's no kind of rehashing of a recipe. There might be, but the way they end up pulling it off just doesn't come off that way. Sure, limited exposure, only 5 beers deep, but there's a lot of breweries that got 5 beers deep, and I'm like, this is the same shit over and over again. So it kind of is the thing that really kind of turns me on when a brewery has a bit of unique chops to them. Whether it be within a certain genre, because I mean, out of those 5 beers, the only different one I had was one was a collab, so take that for a grain of whatever it is, and one was a milk stout. But then, like, breweries like this are breweries that just tend to do a bunch of different shit, whether it be Russian Duck or Cane or those kind of breweries that do everything different beer-wise, or you don't have to do that. And that's how I think some people kind of poop and be like, oh, you just like it because they make a bunch of different shit. No, I like it because they make a bunch of interesting shit, not different shit. And this is the same genre, but markedly different beers, and that's super fucking cool. Anyway, let's talk about it. Is this one of the better Imperial IPAs I've had as of late? One of the better ones? I don't think so, to be perfectly honest with you. But at the same time, I paused for a second because I have Alexa downstairs and I must have said something. She's trying to tell me the weather right now. So that's kind of fucking weird. Anyway, I must be screaming. It's not one of the best, but one of the more interesting. Does that come off as a slate? I don't think so, because I kind of put a little bit more weight in the interesting column of things. It's just fun. It's just interesting. It's tasty. I'm enjoying the shit out of drinking it. And I want to drink it more and just kind of think about it. Value and availability, I don't know. Listen, they have a box, they wrap it in duct tape, they send it to me, I drink them. Maybe somebody can chime in. I know they're they don't have like a release place. They don't like actually have like lines that wait up, people wait in line and buy shit. They actually put these out in distribution, but they kind of go quick. That's what I know of them from what people have told me in their reviews. As far as price point, I assume they're in that just typical range of 14 to 20, give or take, whatever they're making. And leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like dryness in your beer, but you want enough to where it doesn't go over the top, if you like interesting, if you like the way hops can be something other than just straight up juicy and in that kind of confectionery, kind of powdered gummy kind of way, or if you like different models of cars, and you don't want just sunroofs and spoilers and 5-speed and 6-speeds. You know, if you like interesting, creative stuff, you'll like this beer. Or like this brewery, because that's pretty much what they're doing. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, anywhere in between, got no words and stuff. Thanks. Massive Beers. That's me. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. You can check me out there. Or start plugging the shit out of this stuff, because I got to do it. Bringing back my podcast. I used to do a podcast, a brewer interview podcast. That was actually an old school FM radio for your kids. If you don't know what that is, there's waves in the air and it's called FM. There's AM too, but that's for really old people like me. But for you, I used to do an FM radio show where I actually interviewed brewers. Everybody. Interviewed a lot of people. The dudes from Single Cut to Jim Koch to, Sierra Nevada Coronado, Treehouse, Trillium, the whole nine. All the brewers we interviewed, and I stopped doing it about a year and a half ago. And with that, I stopped posting the podcast and kind of just let it die. Still had all the interviews, so I kind of posted all that stuff back up. But I'm going to bring that back. In what fashion? Still trying to hash that out. I'm going to kind of see a little bit of crossover between these videos and those, some of that content. Like you'll see my best ofs, maybe my editorials will make it up there. I'm going to have friends do their own thing and kind of post their stuff to that. And we're going to do brewer interviews again. I just got to get the setup right to where they can call in and do what they need to do. And go check that out. It's called Beer Massive. Beer, if you don't know how to spell that, then fucking turn this shit off. So it's Beer and then Massive, Massif, as opposed to Massive Beers, Beer Massive. It's on iTunes, Stitcher, all that bullshit. And go check it out. There's like over 100 brewer interviews from years past. And there'll be new content. So definitely go check that out. Subscribe, 5 stars, all that fun stuff. And yeah, so there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully you enjoyed that plug. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice Corvette, or no, what do they call this? A Toyota FJ right now. We'll see you next time. Cheers.